Perhaps we can begin very simply. You might like to sit or lie down in a way that feels natural to you. There is nothing special you need to do. Just allow your body to be here. Allow your mind to be here. You may notice the contact of your body with the chair, the bed, or the floor. You may notice the temperature of the air on your skin. You do not have to change anything. You are just arriving. As you are here listening, I invite you to notice one simple thing. You are breathing. The breath is already there. It has been with you since you were born. It has never left you, not even for one moment. The breath is like a gentle river that flows through you quietly, patiently, without asking for anything. You do not have to understand it. You only have to notice it. What is happening in your heart in this moment? Is there some weight, some tightness, some worry? You do not need to push it away or judge it. You can simply notice with kindness, yes, there is something here that hurts. In this way, you are not running away from your suffering. You are turning toward it with a soft and open gaze. Very often, our suffering becomes larger because we are carried away by our thoughts. We think again and again about what has happened or what might happen. We build stories in our mind, and we believe those stories completely. The more we think, the more our fear grows, the more our sadness grows, the more our anger grows. We become lost in a storm of thoughts, and we forget that we can stop, even for 1 minute. In this moment, you might like to experiment with something very small. You do not have to solve all your problems. You do not have to fix your life. For just 1 minute, you can allow yourself to stop and come back to your breath. 1 minute is not long. It is like a tiny island of peace in the middle of a busy sea. You can visit this island anytime you like. So, as you listen, you might like to gently say inside yourself, breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. You are not forcing the breath to be deep or slow. You are not trying to be a good meditator. You are simply knowing, this is my in-breath, this is my out-breath. You are touching what is real right now. As you do this, you may notice the mind still wants to wander. That is okay. The mind has practiced wandering for many years. It does not change in one moment, but each time you see that the mind has wandered, you can smile gently and bring it back to the breath. This is like taking the hand of a small child who has run off and guiding them back without anger, without blame, just kindness. You do not need a perfect space or perfect silence to do this. You do not need a special room or special tools. Wherever you are, even if there is noise, even if there are other people around, you still have your breath. This is your refuge. For 1 minute, you can be with this refuge. You might ask yourself very softly, can I allow myself this 1 minute just to be here? If the answer is yes, then you are already stepping out of the storm. When you give yourself 1 mindful minute, you are not trying to escape your life. I want us to understand each other. These words carry clarity and care. They open a door, not close it. Deep listening is the other side of loving speech. Deep listening means listening not to react or defend, but to understand. It means offering your full attention to the other person, even if their words are painful or confused. When you listen in this way, you give the other person the chance to empty their heart. Sometimes that is all they need. As they speak, you breathe gently and say inside yourself, breathing in, I listen. Breathing out, I listen. This keeps you grounded, steady, open. You can practice deep listening in simple ways. When someone talks, you do not interrupt. You do not plan your response. You allow their words to come into your awareness like waves rising and falling without judgment. You can say softly inside, I am here for you. This phrase helps you stay present, even when the other person's energy is difficult. When they finish speaking, you allow a moment of quiet. This silence is healing. It tells them you have truly heard. If you remember, you can also send them a silent, kind wish. May you be safe. May you be at peace. This wish is not only for them, it is also for yourself. It reminds you that the conversation is not a battle, but a chance to understand one another. Even if you disagree, you can still listen with compassion. Each mindful moment you bring into communication affects the whole relationship. Even if the other person is not calm, your calmness becomes a refuge. Even if the other person speaks harshly, your understanding becomes a healing presence. Your peace is not only for you, it is also a gift to everyone you interact with. As you look at your life, you may see how many small moments offer wonderful opportunities for mindfulness. Walking from one room to another, washing a cup, eating a meal, waiting for a message, listening to the sound of rain. The practice of mindfulness is not separate from daily life. It is not something you do only in meditation. It is something you can weave into every step, every breath, every action. You might begin with mindful walking. As you take a step, you can say silently, arriving. With the next step, arriving. Each step becomes a way of returning home to yourself. You are not walking to get somewhere. You are walking to be present. You may notice the way your feet touch the ground, the movement of your legs, the rhythm of your breath. With each step, you touch the earth gently. The earth supports you with each movement. Walking becomes a prayer, a moment of harmony between your body and the world. You can bring the same quality of presence into eating. Before the first bite, you may pause. You can look at the food and see the many conditions that brought it to your plate. The sunshine that made the plants grow, the rain that nourished them, the hands of the farmers, the people who carried, washed, and prepared the food. When you become aware of these things, gratitude naturally arises. As you take a bite, you do not rush. You taste fully. You chew slowly. You allow yourself to receive the nourishment. Eating becomes an act of love. When you work, typing, cleaning, preparing something, you can give 1 minute of full presence to the task. You can say quietly, "For this minute, I will do only this." You may notice that the work becomes lighter. Instead of being something you must finish quickly, it becomes a moment of care. Mindfulness transforms even small tasks into pathways of peace. You are not trying to escape life. You are learning to live it deeply. This practice of everyday mindfulness helps you suffer less because it keeps you anchored in the present. Much of our suffering comes from rushing, from multitasking, from trying to be everywhere at once. When you bring your mind back to the body, back to the breath, back to the simple act before you, your energy becomes more collected. You begin to feel more spacious inside. You begin to feel more alive. Over time, you may notice something deeper, that your peace does not belong only to you. The way you breathe, the way you walk, the way you listen, all of it affects everything around you. This is the teaching of interbeing. Interbeing means we are all connected. Nothing exists alone. Just as one wave belongs to the ocean, you belong to everyone and everything around you. You are made of many non-you elements, the sunlight in the plants you ate, the rain in the water you drank, the care of the people who raised you, the words of those who taught you. Even your breath comes from trees and plants. When you look deeply, you can see that nothing in you is separate. And because you are not separate, your actions ripple outward. A smile can lift another person's spirit. A harsh word can hurt deeply. A calm breath can soothe a room. When you breathe mindfully, you do not breathe only for yourself. You breathe for those who are suffering and cannot breathe easily. When you calm your anger, you calm the anger of generations behind you and generations ahead or A few. When you practice patience, you bring more patience into the world. When you walk peacefully, you leave footprints of peace that others can follow. You might imagine the effect of one peaceful breath extending outward like ripples on a pond. The moment your breath calms, your voice becomes softer, your face becomes gentler, your energy becomes more welcoming. People feel this even if they do not know why. Your peace helps them suffer less. In this way, mindfulness is not only a personal practice, it is an act of healing for the whole planet. All around the world, there are people practicing mindfulness at this very moment. Some are breathing in and out quietly, some are walking slowly, some are sitting in stillness. Though you may never meet them, you are practicing together. This collective energy of mindfulness supports you, just as your practice supports them. We inter-are. As you walk this path, you may want to bring more mindful moments into your day. But remember, mindfulness is not about perfection. You do not need to be mindful every second. You do not need to force yourself. Instead, think of mindfulness as a gentle returning. Each time you return to the breath, you are practicing. Each time you return to your body, you are practicing. Each time you pause before speaking, you are practicing. The practice grows slowly, like a tree rooted in daily life. You may choose small reminders. When you touch a door handle, you breathe once mindfully. When your phone rings, you breathe once before answering. When you take a sip of water, you truly taste it. When you wake up in the morning, you place your feet on the floor with awareness. When you go to sleep, you take one soft breath to end the day. These small acts weave presence into the fabric of your life. Mindfulness is not a distant mountain you must climb. It is a path beneath your feet, always available. With each mindful minute, you learn again how to live. You learn to take care of your suffering, to understand it, to transform it. You learn to water the seeds of peace within yourself, and those seeds grow into compassion, patience, and love. As we come to a close, you may like to rest your awareness once more on your breath. Breathing in, you feel the air enter your body. Breathing out, you feel the body soften. In this simple act, there is peace. Peace does not need to be earned. It does not depend on perfect conditions. It is here, waiting for you in every breath. You might gently sense your body from head to toe, noticing the calm that may have grown during this time. Even if only a little, that calm is real. It is yours. It has come from your own presence, your own willingness to stop and breathe. This is a gift you can give yourself at any moment. As you breathe, you may feel a quiet confidence arise, a knowing that you can meet your life with more ease than before, that you can touch peace even in difficult moments, that you can hold your suffering with tenderness and speak with kindness, that you can walk gently in this world, caring for yourself and others. With your next breath, you may like to offer a simple inner wish. May I be peaceful. May I be kind. May I be present. And with the breath after that, may all beings be peaceful. May all beings be safe. May all beings be free from suffering. There is nothing more you need to do. You have already begun the journey back to yourself. Wherever you go, whatever you face, remember that one mindful minute is enough to begin again. Peace is not far away. Peace is in your breath, in your body, in this very moment, and with each breath you can return home. You are stepping deeper into it, but in a different way. Instead of being pushed and pulled by every thought and emotion, you are standing in the center of yourself, watching the river of experience flow by. The problems may still be there, but they are no longer everything. There is also breathing. There is also sitting. There is also the simple fact that you are alive in this moment. You might notice the small details that you usually pass by, the sound around you, the feeling of your clothes on your skin, the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe. These small details are like doors. When you open them with awareness, you step into the present moment, where peace is always waiting. Peace does not come from the future. Peace does not come from the past. Peace is here in this breath, in this body, now. So you may like to take a gentle breath in and a gentle breath out. Nothing special, just this. You might feel just a little that there is more space inside you than you thought. Even if your problems remain, there is now a tiny patch of blue sky in the middle of the clouds. That patch of blue is your mindful minute. You can return to it as often as you need. As you rest in this space, you may begin to see your suffering more clearly. Often we are afraid to look at our suffering. We fear that if we look directly at it, we will be overwhelmed. So we run away. We distract ourselves. We push it down. But when we run away from our suffering, it chases us. It appears in our body as tension, in our mind as restlessness, in our actions as unkind words or sudden anger. Now, instead of running, you are learning to turn toward your suffering with mindfulness. This is a very gentle, very brave act. You might ask yourself, what am I suffering from right now? You do not need a long answer. It might be a single word: fear, loneliness, tiredness, grief. There is no need to explain it or defend it. Simply name it in your heart. When you do this, you begin to realize something important. You are not the only one who feels this way. Many people in this moment are feeling fear. Many are feeling loneliness. Many are feeling grief. You are connected to all of them. Your suffering is not a personal weakness. It is part of the shared human experience. In this understanding, a small sense of relief may arise. You are not alone. You can speak to your suffering as you would speak to a dear friend. You might say softly inside, "Hello, my dear pain. I know you are there. I am here with you." This way of speaking is simple, but it can change everything. Instead of fighting with your suffering, you are recognizing it and holding it. You are like a mother holding her crying baby. The mother does not reject the baby. She does not shout at it to be quiet. She picks it up, holds it close, and says, "I know you are crying. I am here." This is what you can do with your own pain. As you hold your suffering in this way, you may notice it has many layers. There is the original pain, perhaps from a difficult event or a harsh word. Then there are the stories you tell yourself about that pain. This means I am not good enough. This means I will always be alone. This means my life is ruined. These stories are like thick blankets around the original hurt, making it heavy and dark. Mindfulness helps you gently remove these extra blankets one by one. With each mindful breath, you can separate the simple fact of your pain from the stories about it. You might say, "This hurts, that is true, but the story that I am worthless is just a thought. I do not have to believe it. I can let it pass, like a cloud in the sky." You do not have to force this. Simply notice the difference between what is actually happening in your body and mind now and the extra thoughts about what will happen tomorrow or what it means about you. Take a moment now to feel into your body. What do you notice in your chest, your throat, your belly? There may be tightness, heat, heaviness. There may also be neutral areas or even small areas of comfort, like the softness of your hands or the steadiness of your feet on the ground. What is your body telling you right now? Can you listen without judgment, as if you are listening to a dear friend? You might like to bring your attention to one area where the suffering feels strongest. Perhaps it is your chest, or your stomach, or your face. Place your awareness there very gently, like a feather touching the surface of water. At the same time, stay in touch with your breathing. Breathing in, you know this area is there. Breathing out, you send a soft, kind energy to it. You are not trying to make it disappear. You are simply saying, "I see you, I care." This simple act of seeing and caring is already a step toward freedom. When suffering is seen clearly, it begins to lose some of its power. It is no longer an invisible force pushing you from behind. It becomes something you can hold, examine, and slowly transform. Awareness is the first medicine. To support this process, you can see a very small, very simple practice. For 1 minute, silently say inside yourself, "Dear suffering, I know you are there. I am here for you." As you say this, feel the breath moving in and out. Feel the ground under you. Feel the weight of your body. Let these sensations remind you that you are here in the present moment, not lost in the stories of the mind. Now we will deepen our connection with the breath, because the breath is the bridge between the body and the mind. It is the thread that can lead you out of confusion and back into clarity. You do not need to control it. You only need to follow it and be with it. As you sit or lie there, bring your full attention to the next in-breath. Notice where you feel it most clearly, perhaps at the nostrils where the air enters, perhaps in the chest as it rises, perhaps in the belly as it expands. Choose one place and rest your awareness there, very lightly, without strain. Breathing in, silently say, in. Breathing out, silently say, out. Allow the breath to flow at its own rhythm. The breath has its own wisdom. When you do not interfere, it knows how to nourish your body and mind. You are just a kind witness, watching the river move. As you stay with the breath in this way, you may notice that your body begins to soften. The shoulders may drop a little. The jaw may unclench. The muscles in the face may relax. The nervous system receives the message. It is okay. In this moment, I am safe enough to relax. This message is not given through words. It is given through the simple act of breathing with awareness. If thoughts come, that is natural. The mind has the habit of producing thoughts, just as the body has the habit of producing breath. When you notice a thought, you do not have to push it away or follow it. You can simply say, "A thought is here." Then you escort your attention back to the breath, like bringing a child back to the path after they have stepped off into the grass. You do this gently, without scolding. To deepen your practice, you might add a small phrase to your breathing. As you breathe in, you can say, "Breathing in, I calm my body." As you breathe out, you can say, "Breathing out, I smile." The smile can be very soft, even only in your heart. It is not a forced smile. It is a smile of kindness, a sign that you are willing to take care of yourself. You might like to practice this now, just for a short while. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Try to feel the meaning of these words and not only think them. As you breathe in, can you actually feel some calming in your body? As you breathe out, can you feel even a small softening, a tiny smile of the heart? Stay with this for a minute. Breathing in, calming. Breathing out, smiling. The breath going in, the breath going out. Like waves on the shore, coming and going. You are not separate from your breath. You and the breath are one flow, moving together. When you are with your breath, you are with yourself. You may begin to see that each mindful breath is like a small light in a dark room. One breath may not make the room bright, but many breaths together make a big difference. When you practice mindful breathing, even for 1 minute, you are lighting a small lamp in the middle of your suffering. You are not pretending that the darkness is gone, but you are not helpless in it anymore. You have a way to bring light. You might notice that as you breathe, some of your problems step a little bit further away. They do not disappear, but they are no longer right on top of you. There is a bit more distance, a bit more space. In this space, you may find a small seed of peace. You may also find a clearer view. When you are calmer, you can see more clearly what is really needed, what can be done, and what can be left alone for now. This is the power of 1 mindful minute. It may seem small, but it changes the direction of your energy. Instead of feeding fear and worry, you are feeding presence and peace. You are strengthening a new habit. the habit of coming back to yourself. Each time you do this, it becomes easier. As you continue to listen, you do not need to try hard. You do not need to achieve mindfulness. Let the words be like a gentle wind that reminds you of your breath, your body, this moment. Whenever you notice that you are lost in thought, this noticing itself is already a moment of waking up. You can celebrate that very quietly in your heart. You can rest in the knowing that peace is not something you have to chase outside of yourself. It is here, in the simple act of breathing, in the simple act of being aware. With each in-breath and out-breath, you are learning again how to live, how to be present, how to stop feeding your suffering and start watering your peace. As you stay with your breath in this gentle way, you may begin to notice your body more clearly. The body is always here, but often we forget it. We live mostly in our head, in our thoughts, in our plans. The body waits quietly in the background, carrying our tension, our tiredness, our emotions. When we do not pay attention to it, it can feel like a heavy burden. When we learn to bring our awareness back to the body with kindness, it can become a place of rest. You may like to let your attention move from the breath to the whole body sitting or lying here. There is no need to draw a perfect picture in your mind. Just sense it in a simple way. You have a head, you have shoulders, you have arms and hands, you have a chest and belly, you have legs and feet. The body is here, alive, breathing. You might begin at the top of the head. Can you feel any sensations there? Maybe there is nothing special, just a neutral feeling. That is also okay. Awareness does not need drama. It just wants to see what is truly there. From the head, you can let your attention slowly move down to your forehead, your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw. Many of us hold a lot of tension around the eyes and the jaw. We do not even know we are doing it. If you discover tightness here, you do not have to force it to relax. You can simply smile softly to this area and say, I see you. As you breathe in, you know this tension is there. As you breathe out, you give it permission to soften if it is ready. You are not ordering it to change. You are only offering your friendliness. Sometimes, just this kind of tension is enough for the muscles to let go a little. From the face, you can allow your awareness to drift down to your neck and shoulders. These places often carry the weight of your responsibilities, your worries, your sense of, I must hold everything up. You may notice heaviness or stiffness. If you like, you can imagine that each out-breath is like a warm breeze passing over your shoulders, inviting them to drop, even a small amount. You might say silently, my shoulders, thank you for working so hard. You can rest now. There is no need to rush. You are not doing a task that you must complete. You are simply visiting different parts of your body as you might visit old friends. You can move your awareness to your chest. Feel the gentle rise and fall as you breathe. Inside your chest, your heart is beating without you having to tell it to beat. It has been beating for you since before you were born. You may like to send a smile to your heart and whisper inwardly, thank you, my heart. From the chest, you can move to the belly. This area can hold fear, anxiety, or shame, and also warmth and strength. Perhaps you feel it tight, perhaps it is calm, you just notice. As you breathe in, you feel the belly expand slightly. As you breathe out, you feel it full. You can rest your hand there if it feels comfortable. And let the touch be a sign of kindness, like placing a reassuring hand on the shoulder of a friend. Then you might bring attention to your arms, your hands. How do your hands feel in this moment? Heavy or light, warm or cool? These hands have done so many things, carried objects, touched people, worked, cared, created. You can thank your hands as well, simply by being aware of them. Awareness is already a form of gratitude. From there, you can move down to your hips, legs, knees, feet. Feel how the legs connect you to the earth, how the feet make contact with the ground or the bed. Even if you are resting, there is still this support. The earth is holding you up. You do not have to hold yourself alone. With each out-breath, you might imagine that some of your tension is draining down through your body into the earth, which knows how to receive and transform it. If this feels like a lot, you can remember that you only need 1 minute. Choose one part of the body, just the shoulders, or just the face, or just the belly, and give it 1 minute of full, kind attention. During that minute, you are not planning, not solving problems. You are simply breathing in and breathing out and gently relaxing that one place. This small act can change the feeling of your whole being. The body is like a garden. Some areas may feel dry or tight, like soil that has not been watered. When you bring mindfulness and kindness to the body, it is like watering the garden. You do not pour all the water in one spot. You go slowly, plant by plant, patch by patch. With time, the soil becomes softer, the colors return, and new flowers can grow. In the same way, each small moment of caring awareness can help your body feel more like a home and less like a place of struggle. As the body softens, you may begin to notice the emotions that live inside it more clearly. Sometimes it is not only the muscles that are tight, but also the heart. Under the physical tension, there may be sadness, anger, fear, or deep exhaustion. These feelings may not be comfortable, but they are not wrong. They are part of being alive. They are like the mud in a pond. There is a saying, no mud, no lotus. If there is no mud, there can be no lotus flower. The lotus needs the dark, rich mud as its base. It grows out of that mud and rises above the surface of the water, pure and beautiful. Our suffering is the mud. Our understanding, compassion, and peace are the lotus. The two are not separate. One gives rise to the other. You can reflect for a moment on the mud in your own life. What has been difficult for you? Maybe a broken relationship, a loss, a feeling of not being understood, a fear about the future. These things can feel heavy and dirty, like mud on your heart. The usual habit is to hate the mud, to try to throw it away, or to pretend it is not there. But when we reject the mud, we also reject the chance for the lotus to grow. Instead of rejecting your pain, you can choose to hold it with mindfulness. When anger appears, you can say, hello, my anger, I know you are here. When sadness appears, you can say, hello, my sadness, I know you are here. You are not saying this to judge or to push it away. You are saying it the way you would greet a guest who has arrived at your door, even if the guest is not very pleasant. You open the door and say, I see you. Try this now with one emotion that may be present. Perhaps there is a small hurt in your heart, or maybe a bigger one. Bring it gently into your awareness. You do not need to relive old stories or replay painful scenes. Just feel the simple fact, there is pain here. Then breathe in and say quietly, breathing in, I know there is pain. Breathe out and say, breathing out, I hold this pain with tenderness. In this way, you are not letting the emotion control you, and you are not pushing it away. You are embracing it. Think of how you would hold a crying baby. You would not throw the baby out of the room because its crying is loud. You would pick it up, hold it close, sway gently, and speak soothing words. The baby does not stop crying right away, but it begins to feel held, to feel safe. Slowly, the cry softens. Your emotion is like that baby. It needs your arms, your care. You are not your anger. You are not your sadness. You are the one who is aware of these emotions. You are the space in which they appear and pass. When you see this clearly, you are already more free. The emotion may still be there, but you are not completely identified with it. You can say, anger is in me, but I am more than this anger. Sadness is in me, but I am more than this sadness. This simple wisdom grows naturally as you practice. If shame appears, shame about having these emotions, shame about not being stronger or calmer, you can hold that shame in the same way. It too is mud. Many of us have learned that feeling pain means we are weak, or that a spiritual person should always be peaceful. This belief adds another layer of suffering on top of the first. Instead, you can say, "It is okay to feel this. I am human. Suffering is part of the path. I can hold it kindly." Each time you stay with a difficult feeling, breathing and embracing it rather than pushing it away, you are growing your lotus. You are growing understanding. You see more clearly what this pain is made of. Old wounds, unmet needs, fear, longing. You see that others also feel the same. This insight opens the heart and makes it softer, more open, more compassionate. Without the mud of your own pain, you would not understand the pain of others so deeply. You may not notice a big change right away. The mud does not turn into a lotus in one day, but you can trust that each moment of caring awareness is like adding a small drop of light to the darkness. One day you look back and realize that you are more patient, more gentle, more able to sit with yourself and with others without running away. This is the lotus blooming. While you are learning to hold your emotions, you will also see more clearly the role of your thoughts. Thoughts can feed your emotions and make them much stronger. A small hurt can become a large story in the mind. A simple fear can grow into many scenes of disaster and failure, all played out in your imagination. Thinking is not wrong by itself. It is a natural activity of the mind. But when we are lost in thoughts, we suffer. You can see thoughts as little movies that your mind projects. When you get caught in the movie, you forget that it is only a movie. Your body reacts as if it is real. Your heart races. Your muscles tighten. You feel as if you are back in an old conflict or already living through a future disaster. In reality, you are just sitting or lying here, listening, breathing. The only thing that is real in this moment is the body and the breath. The rest is a picture in the mind. Thoughts are like clouds in the sky. They come and go. Some are light and soft. Some are dark and heavy. The sky itself does not chase the clouds or try to hold them in place. It allows them to move. Your awareness is like the sky. Your thoughts are like the clouds. When you remember this, you do not have to fight your thoughts. You only need to see them for what they are. You can practice this now in a very simple way. As you sit or lie here, bring your attention again to the breath. Notice the in-breath. Notice the out-breath. After a few breaths, you will probably notice a thought appear. It might be about something you need to do later, or about something someone said, or about this practice itself. When you see the thought, do not push it away and do not follow it. Just say silently, "a thought." Then let it drift by, as if it were a cloud in the sky. Then return gently to your breath, in, out, in, out. After a little while, another thought will come. Again, recognize it. A thought, then let it go. Come back to the breath. This may seem too simple, but it is a deep practice. You are training yourself not to be dragged around by each thought. You are learning to stand on the ground of the present moment. Sometimes the thought will be very sticky. It will carry strong emotion. You may find yourself in the middle of a long inner conversation before you even realize it. When you notice this, do not blame yourself. You can smile, even if only a little, and say, I was lost in a thought. That moment of seeing is already a moment of freedom. Then you gently guide your attention back to the breath, back to the body. You can also use a short phrase to help you stay rooted in awareness. When a painful thought arises, you can say, "This is just a thought. I do not have to believe it." Or, "I am not this thought. I am the awareness that is seeing this thought." You don't have to say these words every time. Just knowing this truth in your heart is enough. You are more than what passes through your mind. Try for 1 minute to practice in this way, watching the breath, noticing any thought that appears, calling it a thought and letting it pass. You do not have to catch every single thought. You only need to see some of them. This is already a great step. The goal is not an empty mind. The goal is a mind that knows itself, a mind that is less easily trapped. As you continue this gentle training, you may notice that there is more space inside you. Between one thought and the next, there is a small gap. In that gap, there is quiet. You can feel your body more. You can hear the sounds around you more. You can sense life more directly, without so many layers of commentary. In that space, peace appears naturally. You are not creating peace. You are uncovering it. The more you rest as the sky of awareness, the less power each single cloud has over you. Thoughts will still come, but they will not define you in the same way. You can make use of useful thoughts, plans, insights, understanding, without being dominated by fearful or harsh ones. When a painful thought comes, you can simply say, "I see you," and let it float by on the breeze of your breath. In this way, you are slowly freeing yourself from the prison of overthinking. You are learning to live in the simple, direct reality of this moment, where your body is breathing, your heart is beating, and the possibility of peace is always present. As your awareness deepens and becomes more gentle, you may begin to see how your inner world touches the world around you. The way you breathe, the way you hold yourself, the way you speak, all of it has an effect. Much of the suffering we experience in relationships comes not from the situation itself, but from the energy we bring to it. When we are tense inside, our words become sharp without meaning to be. When we are lost in our own stories, we cannot truly hear others. Yet when we bring even 1 minute of mindfulness into a conversation, something softens, something opens. You can take a moment to reflect on the conversations in your life. Perhaps there are people you love deeply, yet misunderstandings still appear. Perhaps there is someone you avoid because speaking with them feels heavy. Perhaps there are moments when you speak too quickly, or moments when your silence hides unspoken pain. These moments are part of being human. None of us speak perfectly, and none of us listen perfectly. But each of us can learn to bring a little more mindfulness into our communication. You may like to imagine yourself standing before someone you care about. Before a single word is spoken, you pause. 1 breath in, 1 breath out. In that small space, you calm yourself. You soothe your inner tension. You give your heart a chance to settle. This pause is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is the moment in which you choose peace instead of habit. As you breathe, you might quietly say inside, breathing in, I calm my anger. Breathing out, I choose words that bring understanding. When you speak from this place, your voice naturally becomes softer. Your words become lighter. You can express your truth without attacking. You can share your feelings without blaming. Loving speech is not about pretending everything is fine. It is about speaking in a way that does not add more suffering to the world. You can say, when this happened, I felt hurt.